This is Electrical Awareness. I am Jeroboam Kimtai, and welcome to this program about electricity. Today, I am beginning another series yet again about electricity, and those people who are watching this program are really getting helped. I am beginning a very good topic and a series on the same topic about connectivity of electricity in your house and where this connectivity meet the rules of the game. So welcome and brace yourself as you watch these videos. In today's videos, I want to go through what I'll be handling in various episodes that are coming ahead. And this one, in this way, I'll be handling the topics that we've been doing previously, but in a different way so that you get helped and you avoid your electronics, your gadgets, your bulbs getting burned in your house, and not in repair necessarily, but when you are doing new wiring. And so this is what is supposed to be followed when you do the new wiring. And before I continue, kindly, I still urge you to subscribe, share, and like these videos as we continue doing this information across the world. Now, when you are doing wiring, there are various things that you need to know. Number one, every wiring has rules to be followed when it is being undertaken. And that has been overlooked for a very long time. And people are now doing wiring just in case they need a light, they do a wiring. Just in case they need a socket, they do a wiring. And just in case there's something that has arisen, they do it as an emergency without considering the rules. So the rules cover the following. One, there must be a size for every purpose in wiring. For example, every wire is supposed to handle a given circuit in the house. Wiring for lighting requires, for example, 1.0 or 1.5 millimeter squared of a wire, depending on the magnitude of the house. If the house is quite big and the distance between the circuit breaker and the light is quite long, then avoid 1.0 and use 1.5 millimeter squared. That is for lighting. For sockets, it is 2.5 millimeter squared cross-sectional area of a wire. That is for sockets. And then for water heating, it is at least 4.0 millimeters squared cross-section of a wire for that wiring. And then for heating, for example, cooking now, there's this heating for water heating, that is 4.0, but cooker, especially heavy-duty cookers in hotels and so on, then the wire must be 6.0 and above, 6.0 millimeters squared and above. That is for the size of the wire. So there's another rule handling circuit breakers for various circuits in the house. Lighting need at least from 6 amperes circuit breaker to even up to 15 around there, depending on how many bulbs are being supported by one circuit breaker. And then for the sockets, the circuit breaker is 20 amperes circuit breaker. That is for the sockets. And then for the water heating, from 20 to around 25 to 30 there, depending on how many appliances, how many shower heads or how many heating elements is that one circuit breaker supporting. If it is one, then 20 will work. 20 will work. If the shower is one, or if the heating is one, then that is it. That one is enough, 20 amperes of the circuit breaker. But when it comes to cooking, hey, then you have to use 30 amperes, 32 amperes circuit breaker label for the cooking. Okay. Also, go for original circuit breakers. There are circuit breakers that cannot break in case of an eventuality because they are made as isolators. You just switch them off and on and off as normal switches. So there are rules governing this when you're doing wiring. I have done a little on the on the on the on the on wires and cables. Now what is required in terms of circuit breaking and so on. Those are the simple rules that are supposed to be followed. A wire, circuit breaker, and also you need to consider the following. When you are heating water, do not plug the heating element on an extension cord. Extension cords are not meant for heating. Extension cords are for simple electronic machines. So plug your heating element onto the socket outlet direct. All right? But there's a point where this heating element is bigger, then you don't need a top plug. You need to connect them direct using cooker connectors and such things, or using what we would call industrial sockets and so on. So there's a tendency of just mixing up these things, but understand every socket, every socket requires to be plugged into by the right appliance, not just plugging them anyhow. So I'll be running you through this, and brace yourselves as we continue, because I will be doing illustrations very well about these wires, these circuit breakers, which appliances are supposed to be plugged into which one. I've even had cases where people have connected a socket or an extension cord on the lighting system, and then they are still using the same to heat water, only to realize that it does not last for a very long time. You will find that this causes wires to start burning, to start melting, and then eventually you will have no lights in the house and electricity is interfered with. Now, when we observe these things, we'll be able to even save on the on what we spend. We will save on repairs, we will save on maintenance, not only in houses, but also we will save a great deal on people who supply electricity to us. Otherwise, thank you for this, and just sit back and wait from the next episode, which I'll be doing very soon again, tackling wires and showing you which wire is that. That is called 1.5 millimeter squared. Which wire is that? That is 2.5 millimeter squared. Which wire and cable is that? Is called 4.0 millimeter squared, 6.0 millimeter squared, 10.0 millimeter squared, and so on. And which circuit breaker is 6 amperes, controls 6 amperes, which circuit breaker is for 10 amperes, 20 amperes, 32, 30 amperes, 45 amperes, and so on. And then we'll also introduce double pole breakers and triple pole breakers. I will also make you learn which we have some classes of circuit breakers, class A, B, C, and D, and also show you and notify you and be informed in Kenya, for example, which class do we use. So brace yourself and sit back as you wait. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and let us meet in the next episode. Bye.